folks. Another Faith 101 video. This time it's me, Zach Grant. Dwight asked me to do one of these videos and he said, why don't you think about doing it on maybe Christian parenting? We got young kids. We got the two twins. They're about 3 years old now. And I thought, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then I woke up this morning and I was excited to do the video today. But also I knew in between recording this video, I was getting the kids ready. And I got up and asked the kids what they wanted for breakfast. And James said, I want a fruit smoothie. No problem. I'm really, fruit smoothies are my specialty. A little apple, a little peach, some strawberries. It was going to be so good. And it was good. It was really good. I tried it myself and put it into a green cup. That was my first mistake there. And offered it to him. And he said, how dare you? How dare you offer this drink to me in a green cup? Dad, you know that I'll never drink it. Not in a million years. He didn't say all that, but that was the effect. And there was just much more screaming and crying and throwing himself on the floor. And I'm just holding the smoothie. And I'm like, and so I went to the Lord in prayer. No, I screamed at my child. And I said, you're not going to drink this smoothie that I made you. And I got a little shrill. And I was just like suddenly incredibly angry that he wouldn't drink this. And like just this whole 3-year-old navigating through these constantly shifting kind of rules that, smoothies cannot be given to me in a green cup. My shoelaces have to be tied counterclockwise. I just lost my temper. And I had offered, I think I was on like the 4th breakfast, offering him, strawberry Special K or something like that. And I'm like, here you go. And he's just like, well, where's my smoothie? And I had drank the smoothie because it was delicious and he didn't want it. And so I was just like, that was the last straw. And I was just like, here, take this. And I dumped cornflakes on my child. And so I thought, well, maybe we'll do a video on something different today. So, I think it's important for us to talk about Christian parenting in the reality that we are all fallen people. And while we are looking at the example of Jesus, full of compassion, full of grace, sometimes we don't live that out. And I think that for me, my conviction as a Christian and being somebody who's studied Christianity at some length and worked as a professional Christian, my conviction is that the best way to communicate Christ to people is through a life that looks like Christ and a community that reflects the values of Christ, that gives people not necessarily what they deserve, but gives them grace, gives them mercy, gives them compassion. And I certainly don't think dumping cornflakes on my child this morning was an example of that. And so I think the Christian family has to be, in some ways, like a microcosm of the larger Christian community, where all the time we mess up. All the time we are just habitually making mistakes. And so, Christian practices of apology, making amends, having vulnerability and humility when we've done wrong. And so I bring that to my children. I say, Daddy should not have lost his temper. And my wife and I share in all of this behavior, all of the kind of crafting of a Christian home. Kaylee and I share equally in. And so sometimes that looks like us praying together at meals, or praying for loved ones before bed, or sharing the stories about Jesus within children's limitations, but to the extent of their abilities, as I think God works with us. And so we do a lot of apologizing to our children and a lot of trying to be vulnerable while we sometimes give them grace well, sometimes we give them compassion well, sometimes we give them consequences and things like that in a way that I feel like is reflective of the way in which God deals with us compassionately, graciously, never ever failing in his love for us, but also that I often have the things that I need and I have the consequences for my bad actions, even as I know that God will never leave me to them. So I hope that this is a helpful video, not for me as necessarily the model of Christian parenting, but maybe a little bit of solidarity, just to know that the professional Christians or the people who are in front of the camera in this instance go through all the same things, make the same mistakes that you do, and are co-laborers with you in trying to make a community, trying to make a family, trying to raise children in a way that reflects Jesus, but also making mistakes often and needing grace ourselves, even as we struggle to give grace to others, like our little kids who are just a wonderful handful. Thank y'all.